Hey guys, everything doing on here. I wanted to do a bit of a compilation video about this beeswax sealant that I made. So I put a couple of older videos from a couple of years ago, 2014 I guess, of me making the beeswax, and I'll turn on the audio for the clip in a second here. But basically what I did was I needed some sealant for my harvest table, which I did a video of. You can see the compilation how to build a harvest table video up on my channel. And so I needed some sealant, but I wanted it to be edible sealant because I have kids, and um, if they're licking the table or whatever kids do, then I didn't want it to be toxic. And this was a real great way to make use of some natural ingredients. It's just beeswax and oil, but have a look. I go through the whole process, and you can let me know what you think of it, and if you've tried it before. It's worked well for me, and at the end of the video I'll do a follow-up as to how the table is doing now with the sealant that I put on it. So stay tuned for that near the end, and enjoy the rest of the video. This is a picture of the raw honeycomb, and the next picture is the 5-pound box of raw wax that I got from the local bee keeper, or one of the local beekeepers on Prince Edward Island. You can see it's all dark. It's not gold in color. Some of it is. This is the stuff that the beekeeper peeled off where he didn't want the bees creating combs. So this is the bad stuff that he doesn't want, basically. It's got bits of grass in it, and it's obviously discolored, but it does come out a nice even amber color, which we'll see later in the video. Good girl. This is the method in the microwave for melting the wax. You can just see it rotating in my Pyrex. I've got it on for 2 or 4 minutes. I basically just keep it going until it melts, and I add more in the top as it melts down. Obviously it starts to cool in the bottom, and the more you got cooling there, the faster it melts as well. This method works quite well, although I found some metal in mine and it started sparking in the microwave, but once I got that out, it was good. The next method is the double boiler method. This didn't work quite as fast as in the microwave, so I gave up on this, but this is the kind of traditional way to melt the wax. And it would have worked if I gave it a bit more time, but I found the microwave nice and easy. And I didn't have any trouble with the wax burning, which is what some people warn about. The next image is, this is just an old t-shirt rag that I've strained the hot honey through, or sorry, the hot wax through, and it drips into a bread pan that I put down there, and all the black crusty stuff stays in the t-shirt, and you toss it away. Here I was just inspecting the wax. I'm just amazed that this is real honest to goodness beeswax, and yeah, it feels like wax and smells like wax, and it's just cool that it's the real thing. This is a picture of the wax starting to cool on the top. The lighter stuff is the cooler wax. The darker is the liquid wax. Here it is cooled with a crack from it shrinking. And this is the bar that I took out of the bread pan. Beautiful bar, pure beeswax in there. About 2.5 pounds worth of it. And this is a picture of the finish that I made. 1 part wax and 3 parts olive oil. I just finished my table. The cracks had opened up where I put the wood filler in, like I showed in another video there. I filled it in. It's got 2 different types of crack filler from 2 different companies. I don't know if that's good or bad. both walnut color, but they may be different shades, and I think they are different shades. We'll have to see how they dry once the wax dries. So I re-waxed it. I'm not 100% happy with the surface. This one particular board, the surface is really weak. It must just be the grain that's up. It's all pointing up, and there's lots of slivers and pieces that are coming up. The other boards don't seem to have as much trouble. This is softwood. I guess you get what you pay for using softwood. Though I didn't pay for this. But. So yeah, I put the beeswax finish on. I'm probably going to do a different mix of wax. This is 1 part wax to 3 parts olive oil, I think it was. I'm going to do maybe a 50-50 just to create a bit more of a surface. The wax is supposed to be for the surface, but such a small quantity means that it doesn't create a very thick surface. And the other issue I'm having is I'm getting some brand new cracks that are opening up just because it's so dry. I got one on each end. Totally brand new cracks. Where'd the other one go? Oh, there it is. So those are brand new ones. I'm just going to have to keep maintaining this as I go. So I'll keep you updated. I may refinish this again and break down and get a planer. Take a planer to it and take the whole surface down a level. The other issue I had was putting wood filler right on top of the waxed surface, and it's kind of smudged into the wax and made a bit of a mess. I had to wipe it down and it was all sticky gooey. So maybe another thing to do is to use a planer to take the surface of wax off this and then refinish it kind of from the ground up. So those are my struggles with building my harvest table. Hey, it looks good and it's usable. I think I'll just try not to complain too much and just use it as a table. It works well. One other thing I will say about this is that it's about 40% humidity in the house because of winter and the wood furnace is on. And these cracks will probably open up again. And in fact, I already saw real thin cracks already pulling away, and that may just be the drying of the wood finish. I put 2 coats on. But I think it's inevitable that they're going to crack more, which isn't too bad. And I'm wondering if in the summer there'll be bumps and maybe they'll squish up because the wood expands. So that'll be a bit of a lesson. But I'll find out about this table, how it deals with expanding and contracting with the different humidities extremes here, because it goes down to 20-30% humidity sometimes, and then it'll go up to 80% humidity in the summer. So that'll be interesting to find out. And yeah, I can see if I look down the edge, you can see where it's kind of ridged. It shows fairly well there where it's ridged. So a planer might take that away. And the other thing I'm thinking is, if I can make a 50-50 beeswax olive oil concoction that may be thick enough with the wax to actually create a decent, I don't know what it would be, like a millimeter surface on it, and the wax would be enough, there would be enough percentage wax to actually fill some of the cracks. This crack I haven't fixed yet. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. It goes right through the wood. I need to inject carpenter's glue in there and press it, I think. Anyways, I'm thinking a larger percentage wax is going to fill in the holes, be a lot more forgiving for these kind of hairline cracks. Whereas the 1 to 3 or the percentage wax right now, it creates a very, very thin film surface on it, but not really enough to fill these small cracks. And I would expect if I have enough wax content in there, it should be enough to just bridge those and fill those in, so that the biggest thing is that you don't want food to get in there and start rotting away. So that's kind of what I'm working on now. So I'll probably let you know how it goes. So how has the beeswax sealant worked to date? It's been about 2 years, maybe almost exactly, since I built the table, the harvest table, and sealed it with the wax sealant. I have recovered it 2 or 3 times now. Every couple of months I just kind of clear everything off, give it a good wipe down with a warm, damp cloth just to get the food or whatever is on there. And then slather some beeswax and olive oil, the sealant, all over it, and let it sit there for a good 18 hours, 24 hours if I can, and then after 24 hours or whatever, I just wipe the excess off it, and I just do the top because the top obviously is the surface that's wearing the most. You got the most spills on it, and the most wiping it every day. It gets wiped a number of times. You got plates and other things banging on it. The bottom, I didn't worry about too much, but that was only done the one time when I built the table. But yeah, so far it's done great, and over the years I think it's actually sunk into the wood more. There's no change I would make to the sealant, and I've had no issues with mold or it going rancid. I know that's an issue with oil-based things, that the oil could go rancid. I haven't experienced that yet, and it always could be something that occurs, but I've not had that come up yet. So yeah, it's done really well, and I would definitely recommend it. Even if it does go rancid, I mean, I could just plane it off or whatever and sand it off and put a new coat on there. But some people use essential oils in the mixture as well, and that helps. That gives it a bit of smell, and that maybe helps prevent something like that. But I've never had a problem with that. It's worked well. It seals the wood. I've never had any coffee rings or water rings or spots there that haven't come out, that are noticeable anyways. It looks distressed, and it is distressed, and that's part of the look of it. So bumps and bruises and things like that don't really matter for the harvest table. So yeah, it's done really well after 2 years, and if it's still around in 5 years, I'll do another update. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and we'll talk to you in the next video.